A buddy of mine, NASA scientist, he's now into animation cell. He seems to be on the right path. I mean, this guy's working out mathematical equations. He's got thermostats everywhere. He's certainly onto something. I think once he kind of figures it all out, it's going to be groundbreaking.
Welcome back, guys, to the PokeRadar Podcast. This is episode 4 of my little mini animation cell art series. I guess I've been kind of starting off every episode with a cell. I'm gonna pull one off the wall real quick. Just got it framed, so give me a second.
Slight flex.
And it's fitting. It's fitting for you because, like, I mean, I first kind of met you through social media as a card guy, right? So we've got the pan of Super Saiyan Goku against Pikkon, which is also the score ultra rare from the World Game Saga. So yeah, that's another piece I got from Yaniv. he's kind of been like half of my collection so far. But yeah, let me introduce my guest. I guess maybe I should start with that. That's usually what I do. But we've got this is our first time really like talking one-on-one. But we've got I don't know how to say. Is it Bro Namath?
It is Bro Namath.
Yes. Okay, that's what I always say, and everyone says it differently, and I feel like I'm wrong.
People that say Bro Namath, it
like, that doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, what is like? You're not a math guy.
No.
Okay. Yeah, Bro Namath, what's up, man? Welcome.
What's up, man? This is certainly our first time talking like this, and who knows? It may go great and it may go terribly, but I have a feeling it might go great.
Yeah, no, I watched your live podcast episode with Cole with Peak That Shoe, right? And then you did that one also with what is that art? Yeah, that art channel. What is that one called?
Comic Art Fans.
So yeah, it seems like, I mean, me and you and others were trying to like just spread awareness and grow this hobby a little bit. I recently got super deep into it. How long have you kind of been doing this stuff? Because again, I know you from like Dragon Ball cards from years ago, and you got completely out, and you've been posting this stuff for what, like 3-4 years now? How long has it been?
Yeah, it's probably been 3 years, maybe less. My first piece that I got was from Josh Zenogala, and then Yaniv and I knew each other from comic books. Ironically, I used to deal with some comics for a little bit. I always liked Marvel in DC, so for me, and obviously anime. So getting to the art side of things was just a natural progression that I felt, and I am like just in it. I love it, man. Chasing those trophy cards was always fun, and then it became, once you get in the trophy card circle, I think it becomes easier to get trophy cards just because everyone knows to come to you directly because you are the buyer of trophy cards. The players do. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes, okay, how can I amplify this card's rarity by its grade, right? So for Dragon Ball, it was always about black labels, and Beckett was a preferred grading. So the chase is always there, but I end up hitting that like peak of being the greatest Dragon Ball Super card collector in the world. And then I was like, okay, this is great. This is fun, but I'm not fulfilled. And I love the artwork and I love the anime. And I didn't know it was a thing until Josh had told me it was a thing. And he had been knocking at my door for months, maybe years. And was like, you need to get an animation art. Stop buying cards. And I was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. How do you know it's real? What's not? I'm safe in cards. I know what I'm doing in cards. And I think people kind of stick with what they're comfortable with. Yeah. And then once I made that leap into animation art after I got pushed by Josh, it was just downhill after that in a good way.
I wish he was doing that to me earlier. I've been showing off scorecards since like the beginning of my Pokemon days. And I've always complained about not being able to own the art of the Pokemon cards. So where was Josh when I needed the art of the scorecards? Because I could have got this stuff way earlier for way cheaper.
And yeah, tell me about it. I go on Mandarake and look back at old auctions if I want to cry on a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice place. I mean, like I said with everyone else, I've kind of used that as a source of knowing or understanding what's even out there to be purchased or be collected. Because, um, again, my knowledge and expertise with this right now is pretty surface level. Like I'm just chasing these really cool, I guess, grail pieces that I consider grails, and don't know a lot about the ins and out of stuff. Because like with Pokemon, I was doing everything. I was buying singles, buying sealed, buying modern, buying vintage, grading, all that stuff. I learned the entire industry by doing, making mistakes, buying fakes, doing it all, and becoming an expert at it. And then I jump into this, which I think every collectible hobby has a ton of similarities, but like there's still a ton of learning you have to do. And I jumped into this going after the grails only, not doing all of the learning. So like I think I have a fake somewhere. I think I bought a fake like Android 18 or no, Android 20. Um, so like, I kind of skipped that whole learn this phase, make mistakes phase, and just jumped into trusting a few of the bigger collectors I found and buying from them.
I think it's a
So
little
yeah,
easier than Pokemon cards. Everyone's trying to get over you on Pokemon, right? Like it's buying and flipping and buying and flipping. You look back at Mandarake auctions and you're seeing items that you'll never see surface again. Like one of my chief complaints to you is I keep offering someone via email that I've never met or spoken to on a piece of art that they have, and he just ignores me.
yeah,
So it's quite different than Pokemon or
yeah. I mean,
cards in general and cards.
yeah. I guess even just more of a established hobby or market. Like there's a lot of similar pieces. Like I found out my um, Spirit Bomb Goku, like a guy has the A1 and I have the A4, and they're like identical. Um, so like there are multiple copies of these based on little movements, little animations, but a lot of it doesn't sell publicly, so you can't really gauge what the market is at and what they're worth. You just have to pay what you're willing to pay for some of these things and make ridiculous offers to people who have no interest in selling until you give them an offer they can't refuse, which
Sometimes
is
that doesn't even work.
it.
Sometimes the offer you can't refuse. They don't care.
No, I lucked out with the stuff that I got, but there are still plenty of offers out there with like I forget what their names are on like on the guys on Rubber Slug that have like crazy collections. You can still get in contact with some of them, and yeah, I've got crazy offers out there for like a imperfect sell and a perfect sell, and they're not good enough. So I don't know if I'll ever get those. So you just got to find the right person at the right time, willing to sell, I guess. Which I think I did with all the pieces that I've accumulated in the last 6 months. But yeah, okay. Tell me. I mean, you have a crazy collection as far as DBZ is concerned, but I mean, outside of that, tell us a little bit more about like your scope of collecting, because you just had a crazy, massive, both size and coolness piece come in.
Sitting here still in its crate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it was to me a natural progression getting into the art. Like once I got into animation art and was starting to check off some of the boxes on the grails that I wanted to acquire that I was able to find and pick up.
Which were what? What were your grails for animation art?
Well, I'll show you one. You kind of showed off earlier, so I'll show off now on first appearance, Arlia Vegeta, and it's just gorgeous lines on it. Beautiful.
And why is that so important? Because to me, like I understand it, but I also that's not a grail for me personally. At least today, it might be like a year from now.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it's like, are you familiar with comic books?
yeah,
Right. So everyone wants the first appearance of Spider-Man, right? AF-15, or first appearance of Fantastic Four. This is the first appearance episode of Vegeta.
okay.
And not only is it his first appearance episode, it's also incorrectly colored, right? The Arlia colorway was incorrect. It wasn't to Akira Toriyama's color scheme. That's because the anime had not, or the colored manga had not caught up to the anime. So they just kind of went on a whim. Him and Nappa were both in incorrect color schemes. So to be able to find Arlie Vegeta is rare because there's a whole episode. It's episode 11, I believe it is. is Vegeta and Nap on planet Arlia destroying all the bugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about that episode is that it didn't happen in manga. It was actually a filler episode.
Oh.
So to me, I try to go after manga inspired pieces or just like iconic moments and grails. It doesn't really matter, but those are my two criteria: is either the moment itself is just exceptional and it's remarkable from the anime, or it is a manga inspired panel that was used. And sometimes they almost look identical to what the manga was that Akira drew. This piece here is the first appearance, and it was in the manga. There's only one page that Akira did before Vegeta and Nappa arrived to planet Earth, and this particular frame is one of those frames from that moment. And to me,
Mm.
I mean, Arleo Vegetas are a grail. I think if you're a Vegeta fan, this is a big piece.
So
They
that's
don't come up often.
that's interesting because like I bought a lot of manga, like the first appearance of characters like 2-3 years ago. Never really even looked through them. They're sitting on a shelf. But I haven't even like see that's a thought that hasn't really crossed my mind, is to go through those and find pieces from there. Like, I just, for whatever reason, I am so focused on the bigger the better, just like display wise, for what I'm collecting. Which, I mean, I don't know, these moments might not be the most iconic, but getting that full body shot and obviously like the size of this thing, like it's a true piece of art. And that's always been my complaint with cards.
So I
I,
think that if you go to look to see if you have any manga inspired panels of the pans,
mm,
it will be reflecting in the manga. So it'll be
okay,
a bigger page or a bigger cut in the manga, which would be pretty cool if you find a pan that you own and it's a substantial size in the manga itself.
I've
Like
got to
the
look for that King Cole Mecha Frieza. I wonder if that's in there.
I looked, I don't believe it is. I looked
Unfortunate.
for you actually. Um, the the Go tanks I have going Super Saiyan for the
Yeah.
first time. That's a pan that is in the manga. It's a huge page.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then as far as like, obviously the big pieces in comic books are the cover arts.
Yep.
Is that a thing yet? I haven't seen people post
Um,
manga covers.
no, well, it's impossible to get like manga pages. Like
Okay.
Akira's like original drawings for the manga have never been available. There have been some IPs available, that original drawings from the manga. They're insanely expensive for any notable IP. There was one the other day that sold. It was like on Yahoo. It was like 2 or 3 pages from Space Cobra, I think it was. I've never watched it. It's an older anime.
Yeah, never even heard of it.
Dude, like 3 pages went for 9 grand. So could you imagine what Akira's original manuscript from the manga would go for? It'd be nuts. It wouldn't even matter what page it would be. It would
Yeah.
just go berserk.
So those are the true grails of anime art, then, probably, is those original
Well,
manga.
so this is my thought process. We're never going to be able to get them. It's impossible.
Where are they?
Either
Are,
Akira owns them and owns the rights to them, or
yeah.
his jump. Like we have no
Yeah.
idea.
Okay.
Now, if we can't own them, what's the closest thing we can own to them? Would be an animation cell or sketch that's similar to what Akira drew. That's how I look
Hmm.
at wanting to
Yeah.
get, manga inspired panels.
Okay. And what connection would that be with comic books? Because like, I've gone to shows and seen these comic book art collectors, and they have $500,000 pieces just hanging on their walls, like all the way across their booth. Like, is that? It seems like there's a lot of it out there, or just a couple guys have like a ton of it.
There,
Um,
there, there is. So I got into comic book art probably 8 months, 12 months ago.
okay.
And just your thought process is the way that I came into it. I said to myself, man, like there's a black and white pages as beautiful as they are. That's traditionally what they did. So they would draft up and draw black and white pages. These black and white pages, let's reference McFarlane, right? He's the
Hmm.
biggest, one of the biggest artists out there, art wise, and drew some of the most spectacular Spider-Man ever. They would take that black and white drawing that he did, they would scan it, then they would print it off, and then someone else would color that in. and there would be a colorist. So McFarlane would be the penciler, and then someone would be a colorist. Now, a lot of people can draw black and white. They can draw pretty quickly. I'm sure you've seen people draft up a black and white drawing, and it looks gorgeous in a matter of seconds. What I've gravitated to was the painters. So there's been this seismic shift probably in the past 10 to 15 years where drawing and painting are all done by the same person. And by painting, I mean watercolor, acrylics, oil paintings, markers, stencils, like you name it, just mixed media, whatever it may be. And I gravitate to that because they're beautiful, like in hand. I mean, some of these pieces I'll show off here are just spectacular. And these are all painted pieces that I have, and they look great on the wall as well.
They look fantastic. Now, are all of those pieces of art for a comic, for a special piece of media, or did you have them, like, are those custom commissions?
That cap is from Marvel Masterpieces 2016. Joe Jusko drew that one.
So that was made for a card set, for a card.
Correct. Yep. Okay. So every few years they would have a Marvel Masterpieces set that one artist would draw the entire 130 card checklist, all original paintings. And it's the most coveted set in Marvel cards you can get, between that and then PMGs. But they also do PMGs in the Masterpiece set in the Battle Spectra. So big chase, and the artworks always sell really big. Joe Jusko is one of the top tier artists out there. It's an oil painting. It's beautiful. Yeah. This one here was a San Diego Comic-Con poster. This one here was a commissioned Silver Surfer, but it's one of the best Silver Surfers I've seen. And from a younger guy over from Italy. A lot of the artists that I purchased now are Italian artists, just because I like a lot of their styles. Yeah. But I like the uniqueness of their styles. Like, no one else can replicate some of these artists' brushwork and the way that they do things. And that's what I found fascinating in this particular field of comic book art, is that how unique the artists are. The paintings are gorgeous. It's just, to hold them in hand is insane.
Like, I've gone to museums here in the U.S. a decent amount. I've seen Starry Night. I've seen Dolly. I've seen the stuff that, like, they show off at MoMA in New York. And, it's generally, I guess, American artists or more modern artists, right? It's beautiful stuff. It's cool to look at. And then I went to London last year to a random museum I walked by. And there's Michelangelo, Raphael, like, crazy pieces, and it's a completely different thing to look at. I mean, they're way older, but the style, the type of paint, whatever they had, and what they were doing, just in Europe in general, I think art is better, like way better. And it just blew my mind looking at these things, and I can imagine even today, just like the influence from all of that being an Italian artist or an artist from wherever in Europe, there's more of a pass down of legacy or training. They just look, that's epic.
I know. I'm not sure if you can even capture. Look at the stroke on that. You see that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just heavily painted, just gorgeous piece on a heavy board too.
That's sweet.
This is a cover, by the way. This is a published cover. So,
really?
Yeah, this is what people always want to go after, are published covers. This was Moon Knight, I think, issue number 4. Okay. So Marvel will take something like this and then they'll even edit on there. So, like, they made it brighter or lighter, maybe even change some colors and some tones. But yeah, dude, it's just owning those and holding them in person. It's a different. I love it.
What do you know anything about how the art deals work with these guys? Because I know, as far as like the trading card world is concerned, like Pokemon, they own the rights to everything. That whatever the artist makes stays with them in house. Magic the Gathering, I think, was a different story, at least in the early days, where the artists owned their art and they kept their art. And if they wanted to sell it to Magic, somebody would buy it for like an additional incentive or bonus, right? But it seems like, I mean, just based on this conversation already, Marvel artists, people doing art for all these guys, they own and get to keep their art. and sell it for additional income. It's not
I
owned by Disney. Is that like Disney doesn't?
Yeah, I can't give you the exact breakdown of how it works. Just my understanding is, I've been doing this as long as you've been doing cells, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh
my
yeah.
my level of knowledge is surface level, but I would think that you're obsessive like I am, so you probably have a good set of knowledge already. So what my understanding is, they can get commissioned to do covers. So they'll say, hey, Brandon, we want you to do Amazing Spider-Man issue #1 variant cover, and then whatever their set price rate is what they'll end up getting for that particular cover. They own the original artwork. What you'll see is sometimes artists, the painted ones especially, they'll do a prelim and then they'll
Hmm.
do a final, and then they can sell both of them, right, and make money off
Okay.
of each one of them. There's a famous Italian artist. He's phenomenal, Gabriele Dell'Otto. He does some of the most amazing, incredible Spider-Man that you'll ever see, and he works on black paper a lot. And his pieces, the depth in them is just unbelievable. He holds most of his pieces. So typically, an artist will finish a cover and they'll say, "Hey, this piece is available. Do you want to purchase it?" To his circle or to his art rep, and his art rep will reach out to some buyers
Yeah.
and they'll sell it. Now, Gabriele Auto, he holds back a lot of his stuff, and then he sells off his stuff a long time, and his stuff is just like through the roof now. Like there was a cover of his that I badly wanted. It sold at Lake Como. There was
Hmm.
an art show over there, a comic art show. I think it sold for like 28K.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful Spider-Man just trying to peel off the symbiote that was trying to
Uh,
control
I can
it.
kind of picture what that one might be, but okay, that's cool. That guy, he's smart holding on to his stuff like that. Um, that's good. I'm glad that it's that way. I mean, I think artists, regardless of like what company they work for, should have that freedom to do so, because a lot of them don't get paid well. So,
And then the
uh,
commission work they do too, like some of these
yeah,
art commissions start at like 4 grand. They go up to like,
yeah,
12 grand for commission, like cover quality pieces with backgrounds and all this stuff. So I enjoy it. I like it. I love animation art. I love art in general. I think that's the thing that I've gotten to realize, that I just love
hmm
art.
yeah. I love filling my walls up now with
Yeah.
cool stuff to look at. I get a lot of complaints about framing the cells and and all that, but I black out the room. I've got the museum plexiglass. I'm doing everything I can to make sure they're fine. Is there any like different, um, I guess, safety measures that you have to take with like the oil based paintings and all that stuff you're buying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting them framed at like a legit framer.
Hmm.
So, actually I was on a call with him earlier about this big painting here that was on canvas, and we're doing like an acrylic box around it.
Yeah.
So he's going to build a frame to go around this frame that sits into it, and then that acrylic box will screw into it, and there will be pockets that allows for the gases and the fumes to breathe. The same way with these pieces here, I get them all done through the same guy. It's museum grade, acrylic fronts, UV, and I guess throughout the frame there's pockets for the pieces to breathe, and nothing's up against the glass or the acrylics, like they're set back, and
Hmm.
they float inside of they build like a little like frame inside so the piece can float in there, so it's not like taped or nailed into the frame either. So they know what they're doing, and that's why they get paid the big bucks. They got a good
Yeah.
help from
I
me last little bit.
yeah, I spent so much money on framing. It's kind of like I've always complained about the storage costs of my cards with getting storage units and all this stuff, and then I'm going off and paying that yearly cost on one frame. It's insane.
Well,
Um,
dude, you know what? I was talking to him, my guy, about cells, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm a little hesitant. Like, I wish I could frame them up and show them off. And he was like, dude, there's no problem. Like, we have frames that are designed for this, and we'll continue to allow them to breathe and do what they need
yeah,
to do. And there's just this big stigma, whether it's true or not or right. I know Yaniv, I think, shows off some of his, and
yeah,
those are just fine. So,
yeah. I mean, he's like, yeah, just don't be dumb about it. Do what you need to do. Like these are the frames I've been paying a lot for. They're called Prisma frames, and like the whole back it's screw down, but like there's room all around for air to get out. They do the same thing. I've got the double mat, so there's space in between.
so you can unscrew it and like let it air out and do your
Yeah,
stuff. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Then what's the
and
difference
like
between that and a
and
binder?
exactly, and the cells that are not stuck to the back, they'll put something in between the background so they don't get stuck later on, and we just use like the little they're like the holders, so there's no tape or anything. They just like go into the into the corners there to hold them. So
I think if you're doing it the right way, like you are, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. And I just think that
I
there's
hope
been
so.
yeah, there's just been so many years of a stigma of it, or not that many people doing it yet. So I think once you educate someone and say, hey, this is actually how it's sitting in the frame, I think people, oh, that actually makes sense. Now I want to do it to mine.
Yeah, like when you put it in one of these, like it's trapped. Like it's how is there air getting through this thing? So I don't. Yeah,
I agree.
Either way,
I agree because what everyone says, oh, every 3 months you should let them air out. I don't even think that is the reality of the situation. Anyways, there's a buddy of mine, Serve Collects, give him a shout out, NASA scientist that has been.
Is he really?
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. And he's a Dragon Ball guy, card collector, and he's now into animation cells. And he was like, how can we preserve the life of these cells, and how can we reverse some of the vinegar syndrome that's already occurred? I brought you up with the trunks, and he seems to be on the right path. I mean, this guy's working out mathematical equations. He's got thermostats everywhere. He's doing what he's doing. He's showing me progress. He's already got, if you ever looked at people do the vinegar strips, it's kind of see like what the acid levels are and stuff. And he's already getting them back to being blue from being like yellowish green.
Wow.
So he's certainly on to something. I think once he kind of figures it all out, it's going to be groundbreaking.
Yeah, I've got like a solid 10 people talking with me about this and trying to figure out ideas on specific frames, and pumping in argon and their CO2 or whatever. And there's that guy in Japan, Cell Oasis, doing this. And I mean, to be honest, like that trunks, when I first got it, it reeked. Like I was like, this is bad. But I let it sit out for like a month literally in my garage, just let it sit out. And now it's in a cheap Michaels frame at the moment. And the smell is almost gone. So, just letting it air out for a decent amount of time, I think helped out a lot.
I think Chris Serve is he's going to help you out at some point here soon when he breaks the code.
Okay.
He's at the door, dude. He is at the door.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is there's so many cheap cells that you can go out and buy just to test this stuff with, because there's, you can still buy $5-10 cells on no name shows that, they kept all of it or whatever. So there's I've been talking with another guy who's been buying like equipment from like the local college that they need to raise money, and they just auction off stuff to get new stuff. So there's a lot of people working on it. Like even without having a NASA scientist next to you, I'm on ChatGPT. I've got a whole equation for this. I just don't have the patience, time, or to figure it out like realistically. I'm not an engineer, so I need somebody who's good with tools in their hands. But yeah, with technology, I like these things are 30-40 years old. Just Dragon Ball, Disney's 100, whatever. I just believe technology is moving so fast that it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. That's like such a big fear for people is, I mean, the words people use, like it'll disintegrate, or like it'll like, it's so harsh, the words that they use about these cells.
I mean, look, he's got like sensors hooked up in there. Like
the guy.
Oh yeah, this guy's like he's ready to go.
Awesome. I got to talk to I know we go
spreadsheets with everything. Oh yeah, he's ready to rock.
Yeah.
So it's not, what he's told me was, it's not the paint itself, it's the cell itself.
Yeah.
Like the actual cell is where the issue's at. And it's fascinating hearing him talk. I'm like, dude, I know you're talking about all this stuff, and it's one ear out the other for me. This is not my thing. Like, you are a complete scientist, and that's not my field whatsoever. But hearing him, and he's passionate about it, because he's like, I always wanted to contribute his knowledge somehow to the hobby that he's into. And now he's able to do that, and he's just like loving it and taking off. Yeah, dude, he's geeking out hard. He's like shooting me texts. He's like, oh, this is that and the other. And I'm like, whatever you said, dude, it looks great.
That's awesome. Well, I was talking with Chris Sabat, the voice of Vegeta. because he was asking me about anime Cels, and he's got one that's like, it's pretty wavy. And he's like, can I just like slab this in between two pieces of glass and nothing will ever happen again? I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Like,
I mean, it
it's
depends if it's dried out. Like I've had a piece, dude, that was like wavy, and I was like, oh, well, let me see if I can like flatten it. When I first started out, I'm like, I saw like the
oh
paint line just like crack through. I was like, all right, cool, lesson learned, never do that again.
yeah. I mean, I guess you could just there's got to be a way to slowly heat up the paint to make it reform again, not perfectly, but back into shape. And I don't know. I'll let the smart guys figure that out.
Dude, he was going on a tangent a couple weeks ago, my buddy, about a possibility of transferring the paint to a new cell.
So I'll tell you, I have a Super Saiyan Vegeta. It was stuck to the paper, and I just ripped it off.
Rice
I was
paper?
trying. No, the Genga or Duga or whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm sitting there with like a scalpel trying to like cut it off carefully, and I'm like, this is stupid. I'm just gonna see what happens. I ripped it like really fast, and a chunk of the paint came off clean, or like not fully, but it started to detach from the cell, but cleanly. So I think there's a world where you can just kind of like scrape off the paint in its full form from the cell and just like reapply it to something else.
That's what he was playing with, the idea of.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's doable just based off of my one experiment of ripping off a piece of paper.
Just imagine working on, because you'd want to do that on an expensive piece. So imagine your tester, you're like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and mess with Imagine Vegeta cell real quick. It's 10 grand and see if that works.
Yeah, I mean it's like cracking out a trophy card from a slab. I'll just test out a few commons for a while, and then I'll do it on the.
True, that is true.
And then it happens that when you crack the trophy Pika, it cracks down the middle, and you're terrified to do anything else.
So I will tell you a story here to cards relation. Dragon Ball trophy cards, Super. The first ones that came out was in 2018, and they were extremely limited, only gold cards. And it was one of ones, right? It was only in North America, no other regions yet. 2019, it was 5 regions across the globe that participated in the national championships. So there's 5 gold cards and then 5 paper stamp cards, first through third gold, and then first through third on paper. The paper and gold were matching cards. It was just in a paper format. And at the time, they were cheap, dude. And this is before the boom, right? And so I got a card from a player. It was a Broly. I think Broly was second place. And it was like a $500 card. I mean, the card now is like 10 grand. But back then, it was like $500. It was raw. And I went to go send it in to get graded. And I had it looked like a BGS 10. But at that time, we were grading with PSA, Dragon Ball cards, not Beckett yet. So I sent it in with the metal card that I had with it. And I get the grades back. And I'm sitting there, like every other guy that waits for their PSA cards to pop, and see a PSA 10 on the gold card and then a PSA 6 on the paper card. And I'm like, oh my God, how the hell did I get a PSA 6? What is this? And I'm looking at the scan. They had just started doing scans back then. And on the high level, the Express, I believe it was included. And I'm looking at the scan, I'm like, dude, I can't see a 6 here. What the hell are you guys blind? I get the card in and I start looking at it under the light and the angle, and I see that there's a slight crease. It's because back in the day, everyone always told me, when you put your cards together, put cardboard on the outside, put rubber bands around them, right? And I put the metal card with the paper card, and I did the cardboard, and I did the rubber bands, and it must have made an impression through the card saver from the metal to the paper card. And it was the last time that I ever rubber band or put cardboard ever on any cards ever again.
Yeah, I let them freely sit in a box, maybe bubble wrap, but that's unfortunate if the metal card had anything to do with it. Are you completely out of cards?
Completely. I mean, I got like some cards of like artwork that I have, like you, similarly. But yeah, dude, I'm out. It's do I miss it? I miss more of the Chase the Black label and the trophy cards than anything else. And I miss ripping packs. I mean, I might buy a pack with kids, let them rip it or whatever. But yeah, dude, I'm way too in love with the art side of stuff to ever even contemplate going back.
Yeah. Have you seen the new like manga set for Dragon Ball that came out?
Yeah, but it's just like every other card set, like it came out, it did really well for the first like 3 or 4 days, and
Yeah,
then now it's starting to tank hard. Um, I think they dropped the ball on doing like a manga art like they did in One Piece. They could have done, the Goku that way. I think would have been badass. I
yeah,
don't know. They seem to be dropping the ball, and it's the same stuff over and over. At least with Pokemon, there's so many different generations of Pokemon where you don't have to feature Charizard every single set. It doesn't
right.
need to be the main chase. The main chase in Dragon Ball every set is Goku.
Yeah,
Every single set.
yeah.
The,
They didn't do a good job. I think it's one of the greatest IPs, if not the greatest. But they did not do a good job of introducing like a ton of characters.
no,
Like One Piece did, like others later did, to translate better to a card game or to something else.
which is fine.
Yeah,
But like they're trying to make it. The universe is so small. Like I mean, yeah, there's like the characters, like villains and Vegeta. I think Vegeta has the best character development in Dragon Ball by a large
yeah.
margin. But
Should have been Gohan, but they ruined him.
yeah, they did ruin him very badly. Um, But you look like One Piece, for instance. One Piece has a massive world, and like
Yeah,
everyone contributes. One Piece Oda did a great job of every character having development, so that you can talk to one person that's a One Piece fan, and they don't like Luffy. They like Robin, or they like Nami, and they're
hmm,
super fans of Robin and Nami the same way that they're super fans of Goku out there. And allowing the females to have an almost equal, if not greater in some cases, power level than the males, I think did them pretty solid as well.
yeah, yeah. Definitely. I mean, Dragon Ball was kind of the first, right? He was the start of it all. So, um, yeah, it is what it is. I think that, yeah, I'd love to see. They've gone through so many iterations of cards. I just bring up that manga set because I think one of the like imperfect cell mangas is one of the cells that I tried to buy. The guy's asking way too much money for. Um, but I'm really, obviously I'm very bullish on this stuff. Just artwork in general, seeing what the comic book art world is doing right now. I mean, some of these sales on Heritage is insane, and then
Nuts.
of course the sales of like on Mandarake just recently of that Studio Ghibli piece that went for like what 230,000, forty
Yep.
thousand just for one drawing. Um, I'm really bullish on this stuff and anime in general. I don't know if you know, but Figpin, if you're
Mhm.
familiar with Figpin, they have another product that is anime cell cards. So
I've seen that.
it's really bad. It's terrible.
I've
Like,
seen.
but I think they've been doing it for like 2 years now.
They're like shadow box cards,
They're
right?
shadow box
Yeah.
cards, and they're called cell, like they're cell cards, like CEL cell cards. Um, if they figure something out there, I'm wondering if it'll translate at all. I'm not too I have low expectations for them on that, but it is interesting to see somebody in that part of the world is looking at this.
Well, I like that
And
they thought about and try to bridge it, which I
yeah,
think is cool.
yeah,
I don't think people ask me all the time, "Oh, are they gonna grade cells?" I'm like, for what? Like, what is the point of grading the cell? I can see maybe a rating on 1 to 5, like Mandarake does. Like, oh, there's no smell, there's no this, there's no line fade. Like, I get it, but
no
we have
grading,
well,
authenticating maybe. Yeah,
yes, but we have to get over this whole. I can only invest in something if it's graded in a slab. Like,
yeah,
I'm so burned out over that. And I think that's part of the reason why I got out of cards is because not everything needs to be assigned a numerical grade from a grader who woke up angry or happy that day.
yeah, yeah. Until they have fully unbiased computer vision grading, then sure. But the
But
way that
even
people can game the system with grading is, I do it. I mean, I've done it plenty of times. I've made a lot of money gaming the system as far as
yeah,
which company I send a certain card to because of surface or corners or centering. You learn it well enough, you can make more money off of it. And um, I
a
mean,
lot of money.
yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's great. Like I think you need that. You need that in a hobby or in a business give people that opportunity and give people edge somewhere. But when it comes to this, like we need that authentication piece, I think, as far as making it, that step further in legitimacy. Because all we have right now are like these certificates from Mandarake they include, and you really got to trust the ownership history and all that as well. Match it up to the scenes on TV. Try to figure out if any changes were done from then up until now. Because it's really tough for those people who want to put in a lot of money to take that risk without having that 100% confidence it's legitimate. So
that's why Heritage and Mandarake and these places get insane prices for like mid-tier pieces, because the novice investors or collectors can say, yeah, with confidence, I can buy this knowing that it's already been vetted to be authentic. And if I wanted to sell it, I have proof of my purchase that allows me to say, hey, I got this off of Heritage or Mandarake.
Yeah. Well, back to your recent piece that you just acquired. If you're open to it, you can say no, but I'm curious about that process. How did you get to the point that you got to buy that piece?
The big canvas piece.
Yeah. Because that piece, I mean, what is that piece? Like, is it for something? Are you allowed to share?
I'm not allowed to share what it is
for.
Okay. But it was, Matt off of Comic Art Fans.
Yeah.
He's an art rep. He has about 3 or 4 artists that he reps. They draw their art. They reach out to Matt and say, hey, this is available. Reach out to your buyer pool. And when I got in first, I had reached out to Matt to Comic Book Art, a year ago. I got into it and I started doing the research just like we would always do. And I had reached out to Matt and said, hey, I really like Simone Bianchi. He's an artist, an Italian artist. Does a lot of covers, does a lot of artwork. He had a Marvel Masterpiece set in 2018. He's a master painter. I think like 3rd or 4th generation painter in Italy. His grandfathers were on the, doing coliseums and museums and stuff, like that level
Wow.
of painter. And very unique style. That's what I gravitated to him for. And I think his Spider-Man are just fantastic. So anyways, I asked Matt, I said, hey, listen, man, if you ever have any Bianchi pieces available, please let me know. I'm just getting in. I'm getting my feet wet. And he sold me the first couple pieces. And then once I got him in hand, I was like, holy shit, like, this is awesome. I need more of this. So I had been buying, and at OAX is a comic art show. It's in Orlando. It just passed, I think, back in February this year. They're going to do it again next year. It was a huge event. It's the premier comic art show. It's just comic art. Well, comic art and some other stuff. They're talking about doing animation art at this show next year. I spoke with the CEO of the company about doing so. That's why we've been doing some of the animation art podcasts, is to kind of promote and bring awareness to it, and potentially have a section there next year for animation art collectors and vendors to be at the show. So Matt and I have gotten close. I've bought some more Bianchi pieces. I, commissioned 3 pieces from Bianchi at this last this art show, and I met Bianchi in person. Really nice guy. Just, you could tell he is obsessive with his art. Every stage it has to be right. I watched him paint this piece. Actually, I'll show you this piece right here. I watched him paint live at OEX, and it's a gorgeous piece of Miles Morales. The Brooklyn Bridge in the background, the watercolors in the water. It's just a gorgeous piece. So I watched him, chatted with him, had some good conversation, and just became in awe of his work. So anyways, this piece became available. Bianchi had worked on it for 6 years. He had changed it over the time. So 6 years ago, it looked one completely different way. Like Spider-Man's back arm is a different position. His coloring on his chest is different. The characters in the Sinister Six are different. They're different layouts, different styling, the sky, like so many differences. And he had it at an art gallery in Italy for like 6 months or so. And he spoke about the piece, and it was a piece that he loved. It was the biggest Spider-Man that he's ever done. And I guess he just continued to work on it because he's so obsessive. Like, to him, if he let something sit, he's like, oh, I got to change this. I got to work this. I got to do this, and a master of his craft. And he kept working on it and working on it and working on it. And finally came to a point where he's like, this is it. This is perfect. He reached out to Matt. Matt reached out to me, thankfully. Shout out to Matt, and says, "Hey, this is the price. There's not going to be a bidding war. We're going to offer it to you first if you want it." And I was like, "Yeah, let me know where to wire, and we'll get this."
So there's no negotiating when it comes to this. Okay, that's I mean, that's the way it is when it comes to one of one art pieces, I guess. I've watched some of his videos on Instagram, and just like, it's interesting the way that he's, I guess, his process, sounding stuck up, his process of painting, but like there was like a Dr. Doom video of him just like looking at his own hand, like trying to figure out. So it is pretty interesting to see that. How long did it take him for him to do that Miles Morales?
So when he got to Orlando, he already had the background watercolor done, and Miles Morales outline and body in black was done.
Okay.
And then over the course of the next 3 days, he painted it live there, like on and off.
Wow.
It was insane, dude, to be able to watch him do it live. And then once it was like towards its end of almost being done, he would take it from the table. He'd walk over to the wall, sit on the wall, walk back, look at it. He was eating like lunch or dinner or whatever it was. Look at it. He'd bring it back to the table, change something, bring it back. He'd stare at it for another like 5 or 10 minutes, bring it back, change something. And then I just remember, I think I got him on video. The last remark he did on it, he goes, "It's perfect." that was it.
That's awesome. I'm sure working with I know nothing about art and paint, but I would imagine that it changes a decent amount as it dries up, or the light setting you're in and all that. So yeah, I guess it would take a few days to perfect it as an artist.
Watching him is like beautiful chaos, because he goes in and there's like a bull in a china shop, and you're like, what the hell is he doing? All of a sudden it just like comes together. You're like, fuck, he's so good. He has this Renaissance style, and he's known for his head bust shots, and it's very Roman-esque, right? Like Roman statues, and he works off a lot of Roman architecture and statues, and he'll work in gargoyles and all these other things and components.
Oh man, that's the next thing. I need a Batman stone gargoyle for the top of my house. I'm going to commission that.
Dude, he did a really nasty Batman on a gargoyle piece.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
Oh, dude, it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's
I love the superhero stuff too. I just never imagined getting into it, and how that's a whole nother level of expensive. When it comes,
it is, man. But it's I would say, if you have a character that you really like, and you like an art style, try to get one or two, put them up, painted pieces. In my opinion, I'm not giving investment advice to anybody, but I feel like painted pieces have so much more room to go in comparison to the black and white older pieces, where McFarlane splash page, which is like a bigger page, one panel inside a comic book in black and white, sells for $80,000. It's like, come on, you kidding me? He's great.
I guess if this, pieces like that you can pick up for 5, 15, 25, whatever thousand. I mean, for me, I think that's doable to pick up a piece or two here or there. Which is, obviously it's a lot of money, but
I think you can get far. I think you can get good covers from good artists anywhere from like the $4,000 to like $12,000, $15,000 range. It's not nearly as. I don't want to sound like that. It's not as bad as you would think, in comparison to like the older Golden Age, Silver Age, and some Bronze Age like books. Like some of those pieces are just outrageous.
Right. Deservedly.
But listen, if you're prospecting, right, what you always look to see what's undervalued. Animation art as a whole, to me, is undervalued. I think production material from animation is undervalued, and I think fully painted comic book artist pieces are undervalued. That's let me play this Batman just so I can kind of.
Oh, that's epic. Yeah, I want a statue. I want a marble statue.
You want a big piece, huh? Like if you need Arsham, like
You mentioned he's like doing Roman statues out there. That's what I want. I want a Michelangelo.
Big boy.
So where are you on the scale of Cell versus Ganga?
Oh man, when I got in, I was all about Gengas and Dogas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because my perception when I first got in was that the actual artist drew that piece, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he put or she put their pencil to paper and drew that piece. So I looked at it from an artistic standpoint when I first got in, saying to myself, well, why does it sell so much more money when it's not truly like hand drawn and and then I started getting cells and I was like, okay, never mind. I'm gonna go buy cells. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I still love some of the pieces I have that are sketches. I just think that the cell brings a whole new element, right? That's what was used in the
Mm-hmm.
animation and the show. That's what you see, those lines, that color, like everything in it.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
it's
like
just
the painted art. Yeah, like I love all of that, man. Like I want to see the color to it. And that's why if I do have any sketches, there's some good color to it, right? Like
mm-hmm.
I'll show you because you're the pan man and this is my best pan I have. But like the color on this piece here is just really, really good.
Incredible.
And it came with, and I have the
Yeah,
whole
the whole
breakdown
thing,
with it and the lights
and the
there,
Frieza too. Gosh,
yeah, and the voice
that's
actor script. But like
so nice.
that's detailed and it's got a lot of color and it's got the aura color, which is gorgeous, which is rare, obviously. So to me, I think if you find a piece like that, I mean, I almost prefer that over the sell of that.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's funny if the episode with Josh is going to come out next week, well, the week before this one, but his answer is completely the opposite. I mean, I obviously love both. Like we all love, we love it all. I favor the cells just because of the color and everything. But he says like, yeah, I got in, started as a cell guy and then matured and so he was like an underhanded or
Oh yeah,
insult. Just say I matured and went towards the the Gengas.
oh yeah. Says Josh, who has the Broly cell, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's funny though. So I ripped that Vegeta off before I knew anything about this stuff, just because of whatever. And I came to realize it's an end. The drawing is an end drawing, but it's got all the color. So it would have been a sweet,
It would have been.
colorful sketch, but yeah, it didn't really work out so well because it's got the aura and everything. But my trunks, that trunks pen that I bought that had vinegar syndrome,
That
the
sketch
sketch,
is really good, dude.
it's incredible. The
Yeah,
color
that
on it,
sketch
everything.
is
It's
for being a Doga. I mean, there's some Dogas that are really good. That is one of the better Dogas I've seen.
yeah, like I it's tough to say because the cell does pop, like it really pops. I got the aura part of it too in the cell, but that sketch is really phenomenal color detail. It's got the separate sheet for the aura as well. So yeah, it's tough to choose between the two, but
That's
yeah,
why you do both, right? Like
that's why I do both. And
you do
I mean,
both.
I'm also snobby enough too, where like I'm really trying to stick to cells with the matching backgrounds, or at least a close to used production background. Because again, it just adds a lot, in my opinion, to that cell. You could do the whole printed background and everything to make it look good, but I'm becoming a quick snobby purist at this point of being very picky and only buying ones that have a hand painted background,
I mean, I
preferably matching. But
just sold this one, which the hand painted background matching.
that's awesome. It's
Yeah,
got
it's
the little like shining lights through there too.
good. Yeah. So that one just sold. But I like the backgrounds too, man. They're so rare to find.
Yeah. So what are you like talking to Dragon Ball? I mean, I know you seem to be shifting quite heavily to just Marvel Marvel stuff. Is your what are your goals with the Dragon Ball side or the anime cell side? Are you I know we're kind of after the same piece with this. I'm not going to make any offer probably any greater than you are on those same ones, but like what's your goal, what's your grail, what are you looking for that you are okay with sharing? Because that's a part of why I'm doing this is like I'm selfishly hoping that people will reach out to me with stuff that hasn't been on the public market, and I get access to it. So, you got two big buyers here. what is something that you would love to see come out?
I wire, just letting you guys know.
I'll
um,
bring cash.
um, there's three. I'll give you three. I would love to get the Imagine Harmony Cell
Okay.
as a Imagine fan. And I know who has it. It was recently at the LA anime show.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get that, but he's firm at 100 grand. And I'm a little less than that is where I'd like to be at comfortably on it. I'd love a father-son Kamehameha, which I think you and I both would like because it's a pan.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a pan, I wouldn't have to worry about you. And
Well,
then
Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is I'd remove my pan, my strict pan collecting for a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So maybe not.
man, my third one, I would love to get, and I know who has it, and he's not going to sell it. Is Goku portrait, and I like portraits. I'm sure you've kind of realized that with my collection, is that I like more neck up shots, but full head shots, not like partials. That's my style of collecting. I think that portraits to me are gorgeous. They're closer up. You get really good detail of the character, and typically they're traditionally pretty good moments. If you find a portrait, right, like it's going to be some type of moment where they're angry or they're kind of relaxing or whatever it may be.
There's that personality that you can collect too. Yeah.
It would be when Goku is about to go transform into Super Saiyan for the first time. I know who has it, and he said that it would be buried with him in his grave when he dies. So
that's unfortunate.
Again, kind of
people that's
that clock.
I mean, people that say that generally will give up on it at some point, at least from my experience.
I you would think so, but
this might be different.
Many of people have tried to acquire it. I did buy a piece from him. It was the Nappa and Vegeta and Arlia cell from him.
Yeah,
it's a really good one, and it was reasonably priced for what I wanted to pay for it. And I continue to bug him because he also has Super Saiyan Gohan transforming Super Saiyan 2 for the first time with the red background. He's just like going crazy. He basically told me to fuck off on that too.
Yeah, I'm one piece that I haven't seen yet, so I don't know if it exists or if anyone has it. I think I've seen it. I'm really hoping it wasn't the pan that was just cut, but I want the pan of Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber in the Saiyan armor, powering up, and just to match my trunks, basically.
I thought it was cut.
I think it's cut.
Yeah,
because I've seen the top half of it, and I'm just kind of hoping that they have that it exists.
Josh owned the Ganga of that, I think.
Yeah.
So typically, if the Ganga is trimmed or the Doga is trimmed, then the cell is going to be trimmed because they would trim them together like one cut to put into a bag and take it to their garage sale at Toy once a month in Japan.
Yeah, or I'm hoping that it was, that was another shot that led to a different anime, like an animation from that shot, and the pan still exists. But
let me ask you this: flip the script. Would you not purchase a pan because it is trimmed?
Probably, yeah. I would probably pass on it. Yeah. It does depend on the scenario, obviously. If it is an epic moment, if I knew 100% fact that the full pan didn't exist, I would be more likely to buy it.
Gotcha.
But I guess that little bit of hope that the actual pan lives on, I would probably pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the pan shots generally, like my Android 18 pan, it's not exciting by any means. It's like it just finished up a fight, kicking Vegeta's ass and everybody's, but it's not like a crazy shot. But I love it because it's almost the full body and it has all that. If that was cut, I wouldn't want the top half of that. it would mean nothing. So,
You know, there's a Bulma holding kid trunks on Yahoo, right, Pan?
uh, did I see that one? I don't remember. I know this will hopefully, will this come out after? Yeah, this will come out after the Vegeta pan that I'm hoping you're still going 50-50 on me with.
Yes, yes, we need to
But,
on that one.
No, I don't think I've seen that Bulma one. I need to go. I'll go look at it after
I'll
this.
send you the link.
Okay.
I thought about you the other day when I saw it. I was like, oh man, I'm surprised he hasn't bought this one.
Well, it was interesting. Like those two pans popped up the on Yahoo, the Vegeta, and then there was the Cell and the Gohan. And the Vegeta just like threw everybody off. I found out like the head did not match, so they must have made a change somewhere. And then that Cell and Gohan, you know, you had planned going for it, and I was like, it's like, yeah, it's not that great of a pan.
I put a max bid on it because it was like nothing, and then I forgot about it because that's what happens. Is early in the morning, Saturday and Sunday, I got my kids. I got 3 daughters, and I'm busy with them, and I'm like, oh man, I need to go back to Yahoo, and I go to Yahoo, and I miss it by like 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, oh great, it sold for way under what I would have paid, but
but like those pieces, those two, like nothing special, but for like I have this this desire to have a table full of pans to throw around like they do in that video.
Dude, that video makes you just want to like throw yourself down a staircase. You're like, oh my god, these are just grails, and just like shuffle deck.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the backgrounds too, which I'm sure you're like, oh my god.
Those and none of them were stuck. It was all like, it was that is a wonderful table. I want a table to look like that. I want to recreate that video today. I probably could at this point, but they're all framed.
Tony posted a pretty cool video today on a table.
Oh yeah, exactly like that. But yeah, just all pans, all crazy stuff.
But less care, right? Just shuffling them around.
Exactly. Because I remember, you know, like years ago with Pokemon trophy cards when they were as easy to get, they weren't selling every month like they are now. You know, there were these moments where like we would go to Pokemon Worlds or we would go to a show, and I would team up with some of the other big collectors, and we would just have the craziest picture on somebody's hotel room bed or hotel room table, which is like, you know, millions of dollars of trophy cards, or I guess at the time it was, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars of trophy cards. I want to do that with the Cels next. So whenever we could find a time to all meet up, bring all of our grails and just like put them together, it'll be kind of a similar moment.
If we end up doing the animation art push at OEX in Orlando, I think that would be a great opportunity. Because Yaniv was there this year.
Okay.
I mean, he's a madman. Like watching Yaniv in his like comic book art element was something crazy.
Yeah, I've never even like experienced. I would have no idea what to expect at a show like that.
Dude,
I only do cards. Like
he's just like a hammerhead shark, you know. He's just like going around. You know, everyone knows him there, and he was like bringing me around and introducing me these like ultra high end collectors. That's the thing, is that it is a completely different world. Like you said earlier, here I am at this art show, this comic art show, and we come from a background cards where the dollar bins, right, are at people's tables, and there's like flicking through dollar bins. You could care less. Not that you would want something to be stolen, but you're not really giving a crap about your dollar bins, right? Well, at the comic art show, they've got these bins set up on their tables, and then they got the art displayed in the background. And here I am flipping through, and it's like 25,000, 50,000, 18,000, 6,000, 10,000. I'm like, holy shit, this is the Alex Ross Grail. Like, what to me it is, right? But to them, it's not. They've been doing it for a while, and the values now have gone up. But it's just crazy. And there's it's different because you go to a card show and you have a lot of people that are disingenuous or trying to rip people off, or fights that break out, or theft, or you know, people trying to scam people. Always, right? I just saw the other day that kid, he had like, I guess had stolen something at some card show, and they ran him down, and like, I'll bring the cards back or whatever it was. I think it was Pokemon card. This wasn't like that. You know, I'm talking to Yaniv, and he sold something. It was a piece of art. I think he sold it for like 18 grand. And the lady wrote him a check. I'm like, dude, no one at a sports card or TCG card show would ever accept a check.
Never would trust it. I mean, depending on who, but yeah, they would never trust it.
I'm like, dude, do you even know who this person is? He's like, no, I've never met her before. I'm like, oh, why would you accept 18 grand in a check? And he tells me, oh, well, I asked one of my friends and they've dealt with her before. I was like, dude, what? Like, if you
That's
want to be a scammer, just
insane.
run up into a show and just write, 250 grand checks and run out. And then later on that night, him and I are sitting at dinner. He's like, man, you're messing with my head. I'm starting to like freak out a little bit. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I come from a different world. Like even in my own personal business that I own, I'm writing down driver's license numbers on checks when I take them. That's like $1,500.
We're gonna just bring anxiety to the industry.
Yeah, and so here he is looking at me. He's like, I was like, oh no, this is who she is, and she's like, owns this orthopedic surgeon company. Like,
Jeez, yeah.
He just pays with cash or with checks everywhere because it's easier for her, and she made a lot of deals there. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but easily over 100 grand worth of purchasing. And there was no like stress about it. It was just like common course for them.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what's like stopping these guys from dumping, if they have just stacks of 4 or 5 figure pieces that are sitting in a bin that they, could just sell through. Why aren't a lot of these guys just kind of like dumping it? Are they all just in full understanding that like they probably just love this stuff? I mean, it seems like the type of hobby that it's still early as far as like the amount of people being involved and the demand around it. Obviously it's been around longer than cards with art, and even the comic books have been around longer than cards, at least trading cards. Sports cards go way back, but yeah, like why aren't these guys who just have like stacks of stuff that they probably paid nothing for that turn to these crazy numbers? Why aren't they dumping it?
Dude, I can't answer that. I see what you're saying because I'm looking at them. Man, they got a lot of inventory, right? Like I look on their websites, Anthony Comic Book Store or Ramita Man. They have insane inventory. They don't give a shit. Like it's just it's just different. Like with the cards, you've got people that are trying to be entrepreneurs and sell, right? And they're scraping together everything they can to make it happen. And there's a lot of people that have great success stories in doing so. Hell, even yourself with what you've done and accomplished in the card world. But there's some people that never get over that hurdle, right? Like they're dealing still with like $20, $10, $15 cards. And to them, they do need to burn inventory. I don't think the people that are in the comic book art world necessarily need to burn the inventory. And if they wanted to, they would just list up on Heritage, which Heritage does a really good job. I don't think anything's ever goes under value on Heritage. You have so many collectors like myself that are artist specific. If a Spider-Man by Simona Bianchi or Gabriella Dell'Otto comes up for sale, I'm interested in purchasing that piece. There's not a ton out there. I can't go online right now. I can't go on eBay. I can't go on Heritage at the moment. I can't go on any of these places and find a Spider-Man by that artist right now. I can't. It's just not available. So when it becomes available, a lot of people want to go after it. So I think there's different tiers, and I think artist specific is big one. Like Jack Kirby, I'm sure you've heard of that artist, right? So Jack Kirby stuff, like even a regular panel page of his is going to sell for over $8 grand. Like it doesn't matter because there's people out there that want Jack Kirby.
I guess I mean I have zero sense of how big this industry actually is, and it makes sense. There's a ton of different niches within it, and enough people to carry that minimal supply. I mean, even it is different too. Like I'm enjoying this on my wall for as long as I feel like I want to enjoy it. I buy a card, it goes in a box, and
it's this big, right?
It's that big, and it's like, okay, I'll sell it and get another one later if I really want it. I can't sell this and just pick it up next week if I want another one. So yeah, it is different in that sense too. But yeah, I'm just like real time learning what's what's going on and where it's fun to record this.
Card. You said it earlier. I think you said it best. Is that the trophy cards transact so much more frequently than they used to, right? And I think it goes back to what I said, where there's just so many investors I'm not willing to hold in the sports cards or TCG market anymore. They're not going, like, those high end cards aren't going to true collectors unless it's Ben, right? Ben, his collection is insane. Like,
Yeah.
he's who I sold all of my Dragon Ball trophy cards to.
Okay. That makes
And
sense.
yeah, so he had approached me because I had the world's greatest Dragon Ball trophy card collection. So, I met him in San Francisco. I flew out there and delivered my cards to him, and really
Hmm.
nice guy. Um, so, like, someone like that is a rarity, right? Like, that guy comes by once every so often where he doesn't care to resell any of his stuff. He truly enjoys it and wants to collect it. Not everyone else is like that. Like,
Yeah.
everyone else that I know that is into that world of high end purchasing is also selling. But that's the old saying, right? Always buy, always sell. Sell when you
Hmm.
buy when you sell. Like, you should always be doing both. I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone that doesn't do each. I think you
Hmm.
kind of have to do each. And I to this point, I always, and I do that with animation art, right? Like, when I was first buying animation art, I wasn't selling anything. I was just buying and buying and buying. And then once I got a good enough foundation, I was like, okay, well, let me start to curate my collection. Let me start selling off some pieces to buy bigger pieces and curate it to where I'm really happy with where it's at now. And right now with the comic book art, I'm just buy, 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 buy. There's no
Yeah.
selling. Um, but I'm at a point now with the art, I'll continue to sell some, like, the lower mid tier stuff that I think that I can upgrade. But the bigger pieces, dude, I'm in absolutely zero rush. There is
Yeah.
no hesitation to even consider. Like, someone came to me and said, "Hey, I'll give you this for this." I'm like, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Yeah.
We're still so early in, people. There was a couple old cell collectors who were upset about podcasts that we've been doing recently that are talking about values and how much something's worth. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're spending 5, 10, 15, 20 grand, whatever it may be, even $500, $50, you're still spending your hard-earned money on something. You don't want to buy something and think to yourself, well, tomorrow's going to come and it's worth nothing. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a terrible feeling. I've felt that before in sports cards. Hey, I
Yeah.
was buying, had I held on to all my Wander Franco cards, I'd be fucking crying, right? Like, thankfully I sold them all off when he, got called up to the Rays. But
Yeah.
it's not a good feeling. And there's a lot of people that lose a lot of money doing that. And it's a real possibility that that could happen. So I do think we need to talk about values. I do think it's financially right to do so, because otherwise I think it would be a
It's
disservice.
yeah, it's important. It's a part of growing the industry and transparency and knowledge. Like with trophy cards and Pokemon, I started talking about them a lot more than others did early on, and I got tons of hate for it. And like you said, I mean, there was one specific person already hating on one of my videos, just talking about the values in Dragon Ball Z hype. And, like, to me, that's not even close to being hype. Like,
So
so it's just yeah, it's all relative. People can, I'm a wholesome, welcoming person. If I don't care if you complain or if it's good for you, but like I get it. Talking about spending $5 grand, $10 grand, $50 grand it's crazy to most people. Um, but this part of it, this education part of it, learn from it and maybe apply it to the next thing, and you can get there as well. Because yeah, like my path with this was kind of influenced by Dubsy. Dubsy, the card collector. I learned from him the way he approached cards, because he's a big Batman collector. Like, he's all about Batman comics. He's got some of the best stuff. I think he still has it. I don't think he's been selling it, but um, he did his collecting path of comics and learned his way through it. And then when it came to cards, he just bought the top stuff. He skipped out on everything. He's like, I'm just going to buy the top stuff. I know it's going to do well based off of what comics did, and I'm going to make my money and move on to the next thing. He'll enjoy it for a while, sell it. He did that with Magic, moved that to sold Magic, moved it to Pokemon, sold Pokemon. He's kept some of the top stuff that he's gone through. But that's basically what I've done with the Dragon Ball Cels. Is I've just bought a bunch of the top pieces that I wanted. I do have a little bit of things that I would probably sell off, but at the same time, it's nice to have a single, a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, or just like a Frieza, because I don't have a pan of Frieza, so it's good to have a shot of Frieza. But yeah, like I approach this as just like both. I mean, this is a financial investment, thinking that it's going to do well, but also I do really, really enjoy it. So no chance I'm selling for even like a little bit of profit at this point. I like it too much and believe in it too much. That I think, you know, again, I've spent, my most expensive piece was like 22,000, that King Colt. Crazy.
Piece, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's my favorite piece that I own, and it looks incredible. It's got the full complete Keymaster background. It's the end, you know, the end cell and all that. So it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And, you know, I think that one day there will be someone willing to pay more. Will I sell it? I don't know. But
well, plus it was your first, so we'll see. You seem
yeah.
to it, yeah. Dude, I think we're in a really good spot in animation art, and if someone's listening to this that continues to put a lot of money into cards, I would say to you, if you're interested in this, just buy your first one and listen to these podcasts and talk to other collectors that were in your shoes once upon a time buying only cards, and get your first one and then see if you like it or not. You don't have to break the bank. You could buy a pretty good sell for $500 or $800. Mm-hmm. I mean, people are spending that on a box of cards nowadays, right? So skip out on that one box at 1 month, buy a piece of animation art if you truly like it. And once you get it, if you like it, you may see what the hype's about. And if not, I would almost guarantee you'd be able to get your money back, right? Like, I haven't spoken to anyone who's like, oh yeah, I've been selling Cels at a loss. Like, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. And I'm by no means out of cards. I have tons of cards still and plan on doing cards. You know, it's definitely, you know, it's what got me to be able to afford the sell. So I'm not stopping by any means. I'm looking at this as a diversification of alternative assets. So, yeah, man, no, it's an exciting new hobby for me. I've got that kind of like childish excitement when it comes to this hobby, discovering new things, meeting new people, learning more from you guys, understanding like kind of your process of how you went through cell collecting. I was actually surprised to hear that yours was the opposite of Josh's. I thought you guys would be on the same path, especially seeing that you frame all of your sketches and you don't see a lot of your cells hanging up.
Yeah. I'm the old man in the room. I listen to the stigma of framing cells, so they're all in my portfolio.
They look great, man. And get, you know, I got a little creative with these ones, trying to do the matching borders, to do the yellow on yellow.
Good job.
And
good. I love the boo behind you, dude. The boo behind you is great.
It is mesmerizing. That one was framed by Yaniv, and I've kept it that
was
way.
It? Yeah. That's a gorgeous piece.
Yeah, it really is. It's from the intro of a video game. I think the same video game that my Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is in. It is like a millisecond of a shot too when you watch the intro.
Is that original background?
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah, he hooked me up. It's a big piece. It's the size of like 3 cells.
Well, to be fair, if you had anything, I wouldn't expect it to be regular size.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I think this was great. I'm happy to kind of end it here. But yeah, everyone go follow Bro Namath, and appreciate everybody watching. Looking forward to hopefully getting together at some events for animation art soon.
I appreciate you, man. It was a good time. We talked about a lot of good topics.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and maybe I'll have another one next week.